Hey, what's up? It's Mykill Metal, and I'm playing some more Kerbal Space Program. And this is the mission to Moho. And this is the power core, but as it turns out, I didn't have enough of the radiators. Go figure. And here it is coming in on Moho, which is like a 12-minute circularization burn. Here's the end of it. I did the normal thing where I let it capture, and then I come around again to fully circularize, because otherwise it wastes fuel. And then I did a plane change maneuver to make it on the equator. And then I brought it in over here for final docking. And I tried to switch over to... yeah, there's a weird bug going on right there. I have no idea what's going on. Tried to switch over to the other one to make it north and south, but as you can see, that weird shit happened. Here's the power core finally docking. And here is the ScanSat satellite that I sent out to Moho. Booster separation. Get a cool view of Kerbal. It's coming out of the atmosphere. Here goes the fairing. And I'm going to extend all the solar panels, but as it turns out I had too many, and it started to overheat once I got closer to the sun, so I had to retract half of them. And I'm getting set up so that I can make it over the North Pole, and the periapsis at about 250. And then I'm going to set it up to circularize. I'm going to turn on all the scanners. I've got 5 Kethane scanners, and I have 2 ScanSat scanners. It is finally circularized. Let's start scanning. Here's the final pass. Fully scan Moho. And now it's time to send up some more of the station parts. This is the science lab. Booster separation. Coming up out of the atmosphere. There's the fairing. And this is the burn out towards, or in towards, however you want to say it, Moho. It's connected. And here comes the station arms. This is going to be crucial for separation. Here goes the first one. I'll undock this and pull it away carefully so I don't break anything else. And we'll bring it in for the next arm on the right side. Separate that. Make sure I don't smack into it. And here comes the third one. Try not to smack it once more. And once I got the final one in there, I crashed this into the surface. Now it's time for the launch, and as you can see, I used Kerbal again to get the shake effects. Booster separation. Get an awesome view of Kerbal as I'm circularizing. Get that set up north and south, and then I launch the next set of Kerbals. And this is launched on the Delta 6. The rest of or Delta 6 Heavy, sorry. The rest of them were on the Delta 6 Medium, and one I think was on the Delta 6 Light. Goes the boosters. He is not happy. And bring it in for final docking, and turn it towards prograde just to get it all set up, and start the burn in towards Moho. There's a plane change maneuver. Another like 1700 meters per second. And then when I finally got to Moho, I realized that I didn't have enough fuel to circularize because I didn't account for the weight of the second vehicle. So I redid it, and I sent both individually, which ended up working better. I'm going to bring this into dock. And here comes the other vehicle. This is going to be the return vehicle for the Kerbals that are going back. At some point, I'm going to send more radiators out here so that the other Kerbals can do their science with the nuclear generator. And bring this in for docking. I think this one looks cool. Those 4 engines on the outside make it look like nacelles from Star Trek or something. And now it's time for landing. Activate the engines. Try not to burn the station or make it all wobbly. And then I decided to, once I was close to the surface, land near my initial Moho probe from earlier in the series. And I passed it up a little bit, which is okay because I came back to it. And I put it down on the ridge line right above it. Nice and slow at about 2 or 3 meters per second. And then shut the engines off right when I touch down. And then Patsy's, or actually, I'm going to do some science first, and then Patsy's going to get out. And he's going to jump off a cliff and head on down to the science lander, the original one. And just take a look at that and see the wear and tear. Do some inspections. He hits the ground a little bit hard. Take some screenshots and head on out. And plant a flag. I'm on Moho, mofo. And then do some surface samples and EVA report. And he's going to head back over here, get lined up and jump and use the EVA pack to get the rest of the way up. And once he's settled in, burn straight back out towards orbit. Raise the gear. Bring it in nice and slow and get it set up for final docking. And once I do that, I grab all the science out of the science modules and refine them in the science lab, even though I don't really need to. Just do it anyways because it's fun. And then I put it all in the transport stage and undock and try to get around the station without hitting it. Try to bring up the orbit info so I know how high the apoapsis is. I'm going to try and put it around 250 so I can time warp pretty fast. Start the engines. Close the shield. And then once I'm up at altitude, I'm going to burn back towards Kerbal and do a plane change maneuver once I'm pretty close. And then you can see it in the middle of your screen right there, that dot with the little dots around it. That is Kerbal with Distant Object Enhancement. And it's coming in pretty fast. And I set up an alarm to stop it at the sphere of influence. And then I use the RCS to bring the periapsis down to about 25 kilometers. I'm going to time warp in closer to the planet. And then once I get pretty close, I'm going to detach from this, pointing north and south so it separates pretty good and doesn't collide into each other. Time warp down towards the atmosphere and get ready for re-entry effects. Always looks cool from inside the capsule. About 5 or 6 Gs at the most. And then, once I get down to about 200 or 300 meters per second velocity, I'm going to pop the chutes and try not to crash into the surface with time warp as I get, well, towards the surface of the water. And then slow time warp down once it gets to parachute opening altitude. And then time warp a little faster down into the water. Get a weird view underneath the water. And that's going to be it for this mission. I ended up with about 2,300 science. I grabbed some antimatter reactors. And hopefully next time I'm going to end up with the Alcubierre drives, which is work. See you later.